Hi guys, this is Rad and you are watching DIY Adventure channel. In this video I'm going to show you briefly my small home project. I unfortunately I lost part of the video, so they'll be missing steps in between of them. Anyway, the idea was simple, right? We had to swap the washing machine with the dryer. The dryer was in the area when this blue mop is on the floor. You can see in the top corner the washing machine, and then there's a dishwasher on the left side of the sink. You will see this in a moment. And the reason of that was there was not enough support on the floor for the washing machine. It was jumping and leaking a little bit, and the pipes as well behind the washing machine under the sink, they all will be all gone replaced. And they were just old when we moved in. I didn't like this layout of this distribution made. There's like an old-fashioned style clamped valves, and they were leaking as well. They didn't work properly. Yeah, that's the main reason of doing this project. As well, I did a water tap which was faulty, and I put external power sockets in a garden, so if I want to work in a shed, because it's not connected permanently, I don't have to open the doors or windows and ventilate the house, especially it's cold in winter time. So yeah, that's supposed to make the things better. And yeah, you will see in a moment the kitchen layout. So this is the situation under the sink before this job done, and you can see there are like two pipes going. One is on the top behind these white pipes, and one is on the bottom. It's a hot and cold water. And this green hose, which is coming from the garden side, this tap is broken, don't work, and it's leaking as well all the time. And there's few other taps behind that drainage waste pipe, and they're all really faulty. They're very limited. So yeah, now I'm taking this cover from the wall behind the dishwasher, and you will see why I put this plywood. The wall behind is just terrible, and I didn't want to mess up with redoing it, straightening it. That's the place as well when it was a partition wall, and that was brick wall, and when I moved in the wall was already demolished, but they didn't do anything with that wall. They just put some covers from plywood as well, but they did it in a really messy style. So what I did, I just redo it from scratch. And the pipes going behind that cover are so strange, really designed, and hard to manage with them. And there is also electrical wire going to the sockets on the side. I did it, and the wire was there, by the way. The socket was there. I just actually attached it. Yeah, so the originally must be inside the wall or on the wall, which was here previously. So I see there's like a pieces of plasterboard, and I think so that was the ventilation channels. And because the previous owner improved that, putting the cavity insulation, they had to probably just cover it, and they just left it, So that's why I don't want to leave messing with this wall. It's too much work with that, so I just put the cover on it. It's still behind the dishwasher, so I'm happy with this. So now it's just I'm going to unplug it, dishwasher outlet. And I left this old drainage, the waste pipes, intact because I have no problems with them. I mean, on the very end there was a one pipe leaking, but I found it that the seal was worn. I've got a box of seals, so I just replaced it. So here you can see this this clamp type valves on the pipes. There was like a 4 of them, I think. So very old. We didn't really change anything from the moment when we moved in. So they were all leaking. Really, I just put some Teflon tape on it, and it didn't work. And they were just leaking from under the seals, I think. So that's why. So the best idea is not to put them. And even the system is drained, there will be always a little bit of water here and there, you know, especially these pipes are below the level of the sink, and I couldn't really drain it. All these valves are just barely working, really. So the whole idea was that not to messing about with them too much, because they just can simply break. So after 2 years or nearly 3 years, we decided to sort it out. So dishwasher is disconnected. It's time for the washing machine, and the access there is terrible, really. You have to pull it out, and oh, there was a leak from the washing machine, and the laminate flooring is now puffed, with the water, so the floor is really damaged. And there is no support in the back, and you will see this in a moment. So no matter what I did and what I put under these legs of the washing machine, it was still not leveled, and it was jumping all the time. So after we moved it, I can tell you now, after it's like 4 weeks or so, it's working fine. So you can see how it look like now, yes? And yes, there is a piece of bottle sitting inside the floor. Yeah, so now it's time for water inlet to the washing machine. Oh yes, in this moment I just put some water into the sink. One of these outlet pipe were directed down, and the water just burst into the cabinet. And there was no easy way to remove that pipe. There's no access at all, so there was a little bit of spillage. And there was a leak going from the washing machine, only because I pulled the inlet pipe strong enough to angle the hose, and while it was still connected to the pipe, even there was no pressure, the water was coming off. I mean, the whole budget I planned for it was about 150 pounds, and we get over about 100 pounds. Yeah, so it was 250 pounds on the top. So I mean 250 pounds in total, so 100 pounds on top of the budget. And there was a few things I bought which I haven't used, but you know, that's the thing when you're doing something first time, and this is a process of learning as well. But still, I think so if I would like to call the plumber, that would be much more expensive. Yes, that bottle in the floor is the thing I did when I moved in. It was just total mess there on the back. There was basically just a hole in the floor. I don't know how the people lived in this place before, but this few years ago I couldn't find any kind of reduction, any kind of connector to this waste pipe, but the only idea I could think about it was just to put the bottle, and it was working fine for all these years. And be careful with this when you're removing these waste drainage pipes, because hopefully I always put something under, yes, and there was a moment when I just drained something into the sink, and I heard water is dripping inside that you know, bucket, whatever you call it. So yeah, always put something to catch the water just in case. I was thinking about removing the whole drains, but I couldn't really undo it. I'm just trying to do this here, but it wouldn't go, so I just removed part of it. And these wires, I believe that's ground wires, earth wires, and I don't know really why they are hanging on the pipes. There's no connectors or anything. And this is behind the this is behind the washing machine. You see there's just a area. I just put some offcuts panels to support the washing machine. So yes, there is a blue mat with the sponge, which is like insulating, so there is no water coming from the ground. There is not anyway, but it's like, you know, precaution. So here I removed that bottle. You see there's a big hole, and what I did when I was installing the bottle, it was I just put some cement around just to keep it tight and sealed. So I need to just get rid of it, and I was thinking to just put some cardboard to cover that and prevent debris falling into that hole. But it didn't really work. So eventually I was catching it by hand. And that was quite a quick job, you know, few hits and the concrete was coming off. And yeah, another approach, but failed again. So yeah, that just a few hits and that original pipe was exposed, and that was actually, if I remember, it was like a ceramic one, which is actually sitting in the ground under the or inside the wall. Because this time I managed by like a rubber seal reduction, so there was two options to put different diameters of pipe. One was 40 mil, one was, I think, so something like 60 or so. So that was very handy. That was very convenient to do. And there's like a 5 centimeters, like 2 inches deep seal on that reduction. So it's basically just push in and it's gone, it's done, you know, it's sealing properly. There's no smells, everything is fine, there's no humidity going there. As you see, that's the kind of thing. Basically just push it in, tap it a couple of times, and there's job done really in this matter. So when we put dryer, it's additional benefit because it's actually heating up that corner and removing the moisture from there as well. So there was always problem, especially on the right hand side, under the cabinets. That corner was always humid, no matter what we painted with, and was the same. So you see how does it look like from the close. And I bought this elastic waste pipe. That's because I wasn't sure is it going to fit in a straight line or it will be a little bit bent. So what I'm supposed to do here, I'm just supposed to push it in, but I wasn't sure how to work with this, so I just removed this first reduction for the smaller diameter. And as you see, sit tight. And then I realized that you basically need to just push it in. So I just put it back again. I mean, this is the process of learning, right? The try and error, but there is no other way to learn, I think. Now you can see it's going really tight, so it's well sealed, yeah. So that's it. You don't have to put any silicone there, anything like that. You know, it's this black pipe will go into it, but I had to cut it through, yeah. And I lost that video, unfortunately. And this is the moment when I'm doing the extension for outlet for this washing machine. So I bought it extension, and I found out it's not actually fit. So that you know, that wider side, that will cause me a problem later on. The other side is quite tight, yeah, still not sitting exactly how it's supposed to sit on this connector. But the good thing is that they offered 2 clamps, Yeah, it took me a moment. So as you see, a simple connection is a plastic connector, 2 hoses, 2 clamps. And there's no way it will be leaking. And I need a real long hose because it was going under the all cabinets, so ideally I needed 6 meter long, but there was no available on the market, so I had to buy like 5 meters. And as you see, the whole family was participating in this project. So I put those collars really tight. Especially that will be under the cabinet, so we won't be able to check it every day, you know. And this driver, it's for my work zone one, which is from Aldi or Lidl, but really it's Einhell. I have to admit, this is really good machine. I have it for a couple of years now, and the batteries last for long, really, and it's quite powerful. And I was drilling with it, I was, you know, driving the screws and, you know, tightening the bolts, whatever necessary you can do with this. There is no, of course, hammer drilling on it, and it's not impact driver, but still I'm happy with it for the price I paid. And I'm putting here the masking tape, and it's not for insulation purposes, of course. It's just I don't want to scratch the floor, I don't want to have the problem I'm catching something with these screws on it. So to make it more smoother, I just put some few layers, you know, of the masking tape. So a long way to go. So you see there is already a pipe under, which is the inlet hose. So that was a challenge to put it behind the kitchen hob because of the gas pipe and because the first pipe was already there. So it took me about 10 minutes, maybe more, to push it through. But eventually we made it. So you can see here it's already after installation, these plastic pipes, and I'm just pushing the washing machine on the place. There will be a photo on the finished, all the part finished layout of these pipes. So when I install it, I have 2 valves for a cold water and hot water, just after a connector of copper plastic. You will see this on this picture, it's on the left. And then I've got 3 like a junctions on the top and the bottom, plus one end which is open for hot water on the right hand side when the drainage pipe is. And the 3 junctions on the top and 3 on the bottom, they have individual valves as well, so I can disconnect them individually if I want to. Let's say disconnect the sink or disconnect or connect any white goods. Exception is that hose on the right hand side. That's because I ran out of the connector and the budget was already exceeded, so I couldn't afford for anything else. Yeah, and there's a connector for hot and cold water going into garden as well. There is a hose coming out of the wall on the left hand side, and this is as well push fit. So that's all push fits. Yeah, I think so. It's very useful, very easy to install. First of all. That give you a lot of flexibility, you know, especially for somebody who is just, you know, not experienced. So here I was thinking about the pipes, which one is going where. It's a big shame I don't have all the videos, because I've got the videos how I was cutting. This is like a previous shot. I was making the hole for the water tap in the garden. It was already drilled from the other side, because this is the same hole when the previous hose was, but this one is with bigger diameter. This push fit connectors, they're a little bit wider. And if somebody's wondering about these pipes dipping a little bit, they're just hanging free at the moment, and I installed on the end like holders in a few places, so they have that support. They're not just hanging on the wall like that. And of course I have to admit I made a few mistakes. I see how these two junctions just overlap each other. They're supposed to be staggered, right? So, but for a first job in my life like this, I'm happy. There's no leaks there. And here I'm using the wood chisel. This wood chisel, I got like a set of them. They're just completely worn, damaged. I'm using them like a cutters for the softer materials, so they're not for wood anymore. Yeah, it's a two part wall, so it was catching. I mean, the hose was catching something inside just when the internal wall was ending. And you can see this building is quite old. It's over 30 years old, so 30, 40, nearly 40 years old. And it's the quality of material. It's durable, you know, especially on the internal side. It's like a sand, really, with a little bit of cement. there you go. This is about 40-50 centimeters long pipe hose. The wall is about 30, I think so. Right, so you have here a view on the finished project, and you can tell, you know, it's a little bit less messy than it was. Not everything go as supposed to go. I was run out of few angles, but as I said, the budget was exceeded, so I couldn't buy anything else. There was a few things which surprised me as well, and that's the top one is a switch for the external socket, so I have the control inside the house, and this is how it looks like. The socket plus the water tap. The whole project took me about 2 days, and it was the messy part. Electrical job was the easy part. Right, thanks for watching. It's a shame I don't have the old videos, but I hope you will enjoy it. Right, if you like my channel, you can subscribe, you can give me thumbs up, and support me, and there will be more projects to go. And again, thanks for watching. Cheers.